Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Marjorie. Today we are going to be using a couple of these $1.25 Dollar Tree Christmas trees, and we're going to put them together to make a beautiful swag. Now I did take the big plastic piece off of one of the trees, and I'm just using some zip ties from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to zip tie them together. I just wanted to make sure that I had a larger or fluffier base, and here you see me just fluffing it out, and in all honesty, as you see we go through the video, all of that really wasn't necessary, because while I thought I was going to be weaving in some other greenery, that's not what I ended up doing. I ended up more or less placing it right on top, but here I am just attaching and making sure that everything was fluffed out, and then I do make sure that both of the trees are secured with another zip tie at the bottom. I only put those two zip ties in to hold the tree. We will have more zip ties as we add in the other greenery. Now, there are those red berries. I got 4 of those picks that I've had for several years. I got them from Dollar Tree. And this, you'll see the frosted greenery that I have, that I'll use on here, is also, well, it's not also, it is from Amazon. And the frost on there does come off really bad, but what I did is I took some Gorilla Glue adhesive spray, and I kind of sprayed them down pretty good earlier this morning, and it helped quite a bit. There's still a little bit of the shedding, but not as much. So here, these are some really beautiful pieces, and what I'm just trying to do is see how I want to add them into the swag. So I'm going to start off at the bottom, because I do want to make sure that as the greenery gets added, that it still looks like a swag. Now, I'll try to put a link to the greenery in the description box below, but it is, there are 12 pieces that I received, and they're 18 inches long, but very beautiful. I do use 6 of them for this swag. So I'm just basically finding out where I want the placement of the greenery, and then I'm zip tying the ends to the 2 Christmas trees. I did have to fluff these out when I took them out of the package as well. Now once I have those 3 pieces in, I'm going to start at the top and add my remaining 3 pieces. Those little berries from the Dollar Tree picks kept coming off, and they were everywhere. So I'm just playing with it because I'm trying to make sure that there's not much of the base green showing. I do end up liking how this turned out. I love the frosted color look, and yes, there's some of the green from the trees coming out, but we'll hide more of that as I cut up the berry picks from the Dollar Tree, and I'll insert those all over the swag as well. So I'm going a little fast here just because I'm sure you don't want to do the slow motion of seeing me cut up all the picks and adding in them throughout the swag. I'm just trying to fill in holes, and with each of these picks, I think there was like 6 branches that I was able to cut off, so I actually had quite a bit, and it turns out beautifully. So here I have this ribbon that it's a 1.5 inch. It's a satin ribbon. I didn't know at the time, but I had actually got this several years ago from Michael's when I want to say it was like the 90% off. And but yeah, I got this ribbon then, and I really like it. It's got snowflakes on it, and it's got the natural rustic feel that I'm trying to go with for this swag, and I just really like how it turns out. So what I do is I make an 8-inch tail, and then I do, I want to say 6-inch loops. I do 2 loops on both sides, and then I do a pretty long tail. And then after I cut the long tail, I end up basically doing the same process, but I think I just go with 2 extra loops on each side. And then my loops get a little bit smaller as I go down. So I'll do my one last set of tails and loops. So I'll have 3 tails that are extra long. Sorry, I didn't measure them. And I have 3 8-inch tails for the top of the bow. And I do make an extra little loop for the middle. So once I finish making the bow, then I just secure it with a pipe cleaner. Now, if you saw my last swag with the gold and the pink, I used the 4-foot trees from Dollar Tree, and when I made the bow, I just used one pipe cleaner and it wasn't long enough. So I was like, I remembered that, and then I decided, okay, well, let me put the 2 together for this one. Well, it wasn't needed on this one. My mind was just, but it was okay. It all works out in the end. But I was just going to say, if you were going to make a similar swag, you would only need one standard sized pipe cleaner. And so here I am going to cover up the mechanics at the top, and I'm going to create a little loop that we can hang this from. So I just take the end of some jute rope and tie a little loop on it. And then the plastic piece is flat. So I took the flatter side of the knot, and you'll see here in a second that what I'll do is I'll hot glue it to the plastic portion of that tree. And this is just going to allow me to center that loop. So then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wrap the entire mechanics right here. I'm doing the top portion first because didn't really know how I was going to do it, but as I started wrapping it, everything came into place. So once I had all that nice and covered, I just went ahead and started covering the bottom. Now I didn't cover the zip ties too well. I would have had to put a whole bunch of jute cord there, which I didn't really want to, because the bow here, as you see, is going to hide some of that as well. So I just put my bow on, and I'm fluffing out the bow. And then what I'll do is I'll just take and I'll roll up the long tails, and I'll pull them from itself, and basically just making a curl. So I love this rustic winter looking swag. So easy and affordable to make. I hope you guys try making one for yourself. Thank you for stopping by, and you all have a very blessed week.